Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So, beta, today we have an announcement that we are very proud to announce that Artha Point has launched its topic-wise CUET MA Economics book. For this year, unfortunately, we have only launched it for our enrolled students, in which we are going to go ahead and give MCQs, which are going to be topic wise, and they're going to help you to prepare for your MA Economics entrance exams, especially CUET entrance exam. What I intend to do today, आज क्या करेंगे हम class में, is that I am going to pick some of the important questions from our book MA Economics topic wise MCQs, and I'm going to solve it online with you so that everyone benefits from those questions. So the aim of this lecture is to go ahead and solve some of the important questions from our book MA Economics entrance MCQs. Now, as you can see, we have tried to cover MCQs on these topics, and let's see how much we can go ahead and cover in the next 40-45 minutes as we go through this class. Okay, beta, let us go ahead and start with the questions. The full book will of course be available on the portal for the students who have enrolled with us. But for others, we will go ahead and take the questions that I'm going to do right now. Okay. Jaldi, we're just going to go ahead and go through the questions. It is going to help you in a quick revision of your CUET exam. The main contribution of Adam Smith is in the field of, but this is very important that you know economists and their corresponding contributions. ये exam में पक्का आता ही आता है. It can come either in the form of MCQs or it can come in the form of match the following. So you must know different economists and their contribution. ये बहुत important है exam point of view से. So let's look at the first one. So keep remembering Adam Smith was the one who gave wealth of nations. So the correct answer to the first question is wealth of nations. Look at the second one. The main contribution of Alfred Marshall is in the field of. So beta, Alfred Marshall can be related to utility. He can be related to demand. So the main contribution of Alfred Marshall is in the field of theory of demand. So the correct answer to this question is theory of demand. Come to the next question. The main contribution of Professor Robbins is in the field of. So Robbins talked about scarcity of demand. Scarcity of goods. He said how there is a difference between wants and needs. हमें पता है in economics we can go ahead and we can fulfill the need of a person, but you cannot fulfill the want of a person. Want होता है unlimited. I want a BMW. BMW तो नहीं मिल सकता ना. So you can fulfill the needs of a person, but you cannot fulfill the wants of a person, right? There is multiplicity of wants. Multiplicity means wants keep getting multiplied, and therefore there is scarcity of resources. But this was given by Professor Robbins. So we need to remember these things, that multiplicity of wants and scarcity of resources was given by Professor Robbins. Come to the next question. Keep writing this down so that you can revise it at the end moment. Come to the next question. The main contribution of Professor R.G.D. Allen is in the field of. So beta, many of you know that when we talk about elasticity of demand is basically multiple things, right? You can do it using arc method. You can do it using point method. You can do it using point method, through arc method, through revenue or expenditure method. Beta, you should not only know the methods, but you should also know who gave what method. किसने कौन सा method दिया ये जानना भी जरूरी है. So the ARC method was given by Professor R.G.D. Allen. So please mark that he gave the ARC elasticity of demand. Come to the next question. The main contribution of Malthus is in the field of. So Malthus is related to the theory of population. Beta sirf aise yaad karna zaruri nahi hai. You should also know what theory of population. So Malthus theory of population basically talks about how you can go ahead and affect how human population, it grows more than the rate of food supply. So Malthus, he gave the theory of population. Answer is B. And please write down what did he state? That population grows more than the food supply rate. तो पॉपुलेशन ज्यादा ग्रो कर रही है, फूड सप्लाई कम ग्रो कर रहा है, which means that there will be a shortage of food supply until there is a famine or disease or war which will reduce the population. But I have covered this in our videos also. So students can go through that video where I have talked about the theory of population given by Malthus, right? बड़ी simple है, food supply कम होगी, population ज़्यादा होगी, लोगों के पास खाना नहीं होगा until कोई COVID जैसा disease आ जाए जो थोड़ी population को erode कर दे. That is what is Malthus theory, right? He said this is the first way. इसके अलावा best way to regulate population is to go ahead and bring in some measures, like just tell the people that you need to have one child per family. Okay? So that is the theory of population. Okay, beta, come to the next question. The next question states, the main contribution of Professor Keynes is in the field of. So out of these four, we know he gave his contribution in the field of rate of interest. So the answer to this question is A. So Keynes, he gave his contribution in the field of the rate of the interest. Okay, better come to the next question. The main contribution of David Ricardo is in the field of. So we know that Ricardian theory is either related to international economics, you have to tell me, is it in international economics, did he give comparative advantage or absolute advantage? Take a moment and tell me whether Ricardo, what kind of theory did he give in the international advantage? What is his theory in the international economics? Right? Is it absolute advantage or comparative advantage? That's the first thing. Now, the other thing that Ricardian gave was in the field of the rent. So we know that David Ricardo can be linked to theory of rent. He can be linked to theory of rent. Okay, now come to the next question, beta. In 1776, a famous book, An Inquiry into Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nation. So beta, wealth of nation padhte hi, you should know that it is related to Adam Smith. So the correct answer to this question will be Adam Smith. It will be B, right? That's the answer to the question. So now let's go to the next question. So the next question says, in 1932, the Nature and Significance of Economic Science was written by. So this was given by Professor Robbins. So the correct answer to this question, beta, ye sab is related to net exam. You have to prepare this. So this is again Professor Robbins who gave this book in 1932. Sometimes they will give you a question on chronology, जिसमें they will give you 4 books or 4 principles. जैसे ऐसे दे देते हैं, Wealth of Nation, then they will give you this, Nature and Significance of Economic Science. Then they will give you this, Principles of Economics. And maybe they will give you, say, Liquidity of Preference Theory. ऐसे करके 4 दे दिए. And they will ask you, arrange the following in the chronological order, right? A, B, C, D, C, E, A, B, ऐसे करके. So you should not only remember who gave this, but you should also remember who is, yes. So many people are saying the answer to this question as comparative advantage. That's correct. So you should not only remember who gave this, but you have to also remember which year they were given. So जैसे Wealth of Nation was given in 1776, right? Like this was given in 1932, right? Like for example, Principles of Economics was given in 1890, right? So you should also remember the year, beta, in which it was given. It is very, very important. Okay, come to the 10th question now. So the 10th question says that the Principles of Economics was written by, so Principles of Economics was given by Marshall. But जो भी बेस चीजें है ना, वो सब मार्शल ने दी थी ज्यादातर, स्पेशली अगर वो डिमांड, यूटिलिटी, इन सब से रिलेटेड है. इफ यू गूगल, बहुत सारी जगहों पर मार्शल का नाम नहीं आता है. They are introduced by some physicist, by some other person, but in economics, it was popularized by Marshall. बेशक ही किसी और ने क्यों ना इंट्रोड्यूस किया हो, but economics में उसको मार्शल लेके आया, right? So we will always link it to Marshall. So the answer to this question is B, which is Alfred Marshall. Principles of Economics was written by Marshall. So beta, we have covered the first 10 questions from our topic. Now I will go to the next 10 questions of the next topic, right? So that we can take some questions from each topic. Now that will be helpful. Okay, now let's go to the next topic, work of great economist, and take the first 10 questions of this. According to Saint Thomas Aquinas, value is determined by God, but prices by. These kind of questions are usually giving you some statement, and in return, they're asking you to fill in the blank. ऐसा कुछ देंगे, कोई एक स्टेटमेंट देंगे, उसको फिल इन द ब्लैंक करने को बोलेंगे, या डायरेक्टली दे विल आस्क यू अबाउट द इकोनॉमिस्ट. ठीक है जी, क्वेश्चन देखो. अकॉर्डिंग टू सेंट थॉमस, वैल्यू इज डिटरमाइंड बाय गॉड बट प्राइसेस बाय. बट प्राइस तो लोग ही डिटरमाइन कर सकते हैं ना, राइट? मार्केट में, राइट? सो प्राइसेस आर डिटरमाइंड बाय पीपल. सो आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन इज सी, that prices are determined by people. Okay, come to the next question. Who is the founder of classical school of thought? Beta, classical school of thought was founded by Adam Smith. Can you take a moment and tell me who can I call as the father of Keynesian school of thought? Name में ही है. And who can I call the father of modern economics? Can you tell me who is the father of modern economics? It can come in exam. So take a moment and tell me who is the father of modern economics. Okay, absolutely. This is Keynes. All of you are answering it correctly. And who is the father of modern economics? Can someone tell me who is the father of modern economics? So you should know these things, beta. This will come in exam. Who is the father of economics? Alag hai. Father of modern economics? Alag hai. एक और question that can come in exam. Father of Indian modern economics. Or father of Indian economic planning. तो बेटा लिख लो, father of Indian economic planning was Sir M. Vishwanesha, who was very famously known as Sir MV. He was an engineer, statesman, a scholar. And यहाँ पर all of you are answering it correctly. The answer is actually Samuelson, correct. So बेटा you should know these things. ये एग्जाम में आएंगी. तो जब एक क्वेश्चन को देखो उससे कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग जितने क्वेश्चंस बन सकते हैं, whatever is possible, you should go ahead and you should try to also formulate those questions. So this is the correct answer. Everyone is answering it correctly. Yes. Okay, beta. Now let us go to the next question. When was Adam Smith's major work, An Inquiry into Wealth of Nations, published? देखा year पूछ रहे हैं. So you should know that this was 1776. The answer to this question is 1776. Come to the next question, beta. Rent is creation of value, not wealth. Who made this observation? बेटा थ्योरी ऑफ रेंट रिकार्डो ने दी है, तो रेंट से रिलेटेड सब कुछ रिकार्डो ही तो बोलेगा. सो जैसे ही मैंने रेंट देखा, यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट दिस इज corresponding to theory of rent, and theory of rent can be linked to Ricardo. So the correct answer to this question is David Ricardo. The answer to this question, that rent is creation of value, is David Ricardo. Answer is B. Keep putting this in your mind, sink it in your mind. दोबारा रिवाइज करने का टाइम नहीं मिलेगा, इसको दिमाग में अभी ही डाल लो. Okay, beta. Come to the next question. Who stated explicitly for the first time the law of comparative cost? बेटा अभी मैंने बताया comparative advantage या comparative cost was also given by Ricardo. So the correct answer to this question is Ricardo. Answer is A. Ricardo, he gave the theory of comparative cost. Next question, beta. Which of the following theories of trade cycle was represented by William Jevons? अब ये थोड़ा सा समझना पड़ेगा आपको. You have to do a bit of the trade cycle और business cycle also. उसमें सब कुछ नहीं करना, but उसमें जो जिसने भी जो भी सजेस्ट किया है, जो भी थ्योरीज दी हैं, उसके नाम पता होना जरूरी है. एंड उसके बारे में और पढ़ लो तो वेरी गुड, बट एटलीस्ट नाम पता होना जरूरी है. नाउ इफ यू रीड थ्रू इट बेटा, सनस्पॉट थ्योरी, दिस वाज गिवन बाय विलियम जेवंस. एंड ये क्या कहता है? ये कहता है कि जैसे हम सन के अलग अलग स्पॉट्स को वो कर सकते हैं, आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं, उसी तरीके से हम अपने कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंगली सन के साथ साथ इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी को भी आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. सो एज द स्पॉट ऑफ सन चेंजेस, it can be linked to economic activity. कैसे? थ्रू वेदर, एग्रीकल्चर, ऑप्टिमिज्म, अनसर्टेनिटी। भाई अगर सन बिल्कुल ही ना आए तो भी एग्रीकल्चर अफेक्ट होगा, अगर बहुत ज्यादा ड्रॉट पड़ जाए तो भी एग्रीकल्चर अफेक्ट होगा। सो एग्रीकल्चर विल बी अफेक्टेड थ्रू द मूवमेंट्स ऑफ द सन. The economic activity will be affected through the movements of the sun, and that is called the sunspot theory. And this was presented by William Jevons. So answer to this question is A. Okay, beta, come to the next question. It says purchasing power parity theory is presented by. So it was presented by Gustav Cassel. So the answer to this question, I hope you know what PPP is. So answer to this question is D, Gustav Cassel. All of you who are answering D is the correct answer. Okay, beta, come to the next question. The input-output analysis was given by Leontief. सबने मैथ्स में पढ़ा होगा लियोन्टिव्स इनपुट आउटपुट मेथड, ये सबने पढ़ा मैथ्स में. सो द इनपुट आउटपुट एनालिसिस वाज गिवन बाय लियोन्टिफ. आंसर टू द 8th क्वेश्चन इज ए. कम टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन बेटा. हु रोट एन इंट्रोडक्शन टू पॉजिटिव इकोनॉमिक्स? बेटा पॉजिटिव इकोनॉमिक्स वाज गिवन बाय लिप्सी. पॉजिटिव इकोनॉमिक्स क्या होती है? व्हाट इज नॉर्मेटिव इकोनॉमिक्स? What is normative economics? What should be, right? So positive is what is, normative is what should be. So example, unemployment rate is 5%, positive. Unemployment rate should be 3%, normative. So beta, in this case, positive economics was given by R.G. Lipsey. So that's the answer to this question. Answer is A. Come to the next question, beta. Yes, you're correct. What ought to be? Who wrote mathematical analysis for economics? It was given initially by Allen. Now, question for all of you. Quickly tell me what other famous theory, ये पिछले साल के एग्जाम में आया हुआ है, was given by Allen. Can anyone tell me और कौन सी माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स की फेमस थ्योरी है जो एलन ने दी है? What is that theory that was given by Allen? You have to go ahead and tell me that. What other famous theory was given by Allen? I can give you a hint. He gave it along with Hicks. What is that theory that was given by Allen? Something related to demand. Okay, beta, let's write down the answer. So Allen and Hicks together, they gave the theory of ordinal utility in 1934. Beta, याद रखना पड़ेगा. You have to go ahead and you have to write somewhere कि अच्छा एलन ने ये दिया है, मार्शल ने ये दिया है. ऐसे याद रखना बहुत जरूरी है. So Allen, along with along with this mathematical analysis for economics, also gave the theory of ordinal utility. Okay. So yes, you're correct when you say ordinal utility or indifference curve. Good. Okay. So now, beta, we will move on to the next topic due to the time issue. So let me just move on to the next topic. I'm going to take some questions from consumer theory now. Okay, beta. Let us go ahead and take the first question of consumer theory. We'll start with the easy ones. Utility means, all of us know utility is simply the want satisfying power of the commodity. So answer to this question is A. Come to the next question, beta. Utility is what kind of subject? So utility is a subjective concept. देखो दो तरीके के कॉन्सेप्ट हो सकते हैं ज्यादातर, ऑब्जेक्टिव या सब्जेक्टिव. यूटिलिटी सब्जेक्टिव है, जो मेरे लिए यूटिलिटी होगी वो आपके लिए नहीं होगी. सो यूटिलिटी is always considered to be a subjective concept. So answer to this question is A. Come to the next question, beta. When a consumer is satisfied with his spending pattern, he is said to be in, we know, equilibrium. And when is equilibrium reached? In case of single consumer, when marginal utility is equal to price, single prices, sorry, single commodity. When marginal utility is equal to price. And when is equilibrium reached in two commodity case? When MUX by MUY is equal to PX by PY. तो बेटा सिंगल कमोडिटी केस में MUX should be equal to PX, and two commodity case में MUX by MUY should be equal to PX by PY. This is your equilibrium condition. Okay, beta, come to the next question. The next question basically goes ahead and asks, Marshallian approach is also known as. So Marshallian approach is also a cardinal approach. So we will go ahead with the answer A. It is a cardinal approach. So answer to fourth question is A, cardinal approach. If I'm giving you a question, tell me if Marshallian approach is cardinal. अगर Marshallian ने cardinal approach दी है, then whose approach is ordinal? बेटा अगर Marshallian की approach cardinal है, तो मैं किस इकोनॉमिस्ट को ऑर्डिनल अप्रोच से लिंक कर सकती हूं? Whose approach is ordinal? Can you give me the answer to this question? Take a moment. If Marshallian approach is cardinal, whose approach is ordinal? Absolutely, Hicks and Allen. ऊपर ही तो बताया था हमने. So Hicks and Allen, their approach is ordinal and Marshallian approach is cardinal. Okay, beta. Come to the next question. According to classical approach, utility can be, according to classicals, utility is cardinal. C classical, C cardinal. So कार्डिनैलिटी का मतलब होता है कि आप उसको नंबर में एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हो. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू क्लासिकल्स, यूटिलिटी कैन बी एक्सप्रेस्ड इन नंबर्स. ओके बेटा, कम टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. द यूटिलिटी फंक्शन u is equal to fx is based upon, so बेटा ध्यान से समझो, यूटिलिटी is a function of good x. एक्चुअली स्पीकिंग, जब हम मैथ्स की बात करते हैं तो x एक वेक्टर भी हो सकता है जिसमें x रिप्रेजेंट्स मल्टीपल कमोडिटीज. तो वो मेनी गुड हो गया. दैट x, यूटिलिटी इज अ फंक्शन ऑफ मेनी गुड्स. बट अभी के लिए, बिकॉज दिस इज सिंपल माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक क्वेश्चन एंड अंदर सिर्फ एक x है, आई विल गो विद द आंसर वन गुड. सो यूटिलिटी So utility is a function of one good. Okay, beta, come to the next question. According to Marshallian approach, utility can be added together. Utility is additive. ये क्वेश्चन बहुत बहुत ज्यादा कंफ्यूजिंग है, बिकॉज मेनी स्टूडेंट्स थिंक दैट अच्छा यूटिलिटी तो एक कार्डिनल कॉन्सेप्ट है, नंबर्स में है, तो हम ऐड सब्ट्रैक्ट मल्टीप्लाई डिवाइड कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. बट बेटा यूजुअली यूटिलिटी को एडिटिव माना जाता है. मतलब इफ आई गेट अ यूटिलिटी ऑफ 10 from commodity 1, utility of 20 from commodity 2, the total utility, it can be 30. So utility is considered to be additive in nature. That is why answer to this question will be A. It is additive in nature. Okay, beta, come to the next question. On the total utility curve, the economically relevant range is the portion over which. So beta ये देखो, ये रेंज पूछ रहा है, रेंज, पॉइंट नहीं. अगर पॉइंट पूछता, if it would have asked point, then it would have been where total utility is maximum. But ये वाला पॉइंट जो है बेटा यहां पर, this is the point where TU is maximum. But this is the point, this is the range where total utility is increasing at increasing rate. ना ही सिर्फ बढ़ रही है, but increasing rate से बढ़ रही है. And बेटा this is the range where total utility is increasing at decreasing rate. तो बेटा यहां पर आके टोटल यूटिलिटी मैक्सिमम हो गई. इकोनॉमिकली हम ये कहते हैं कि ये जो रेंज है ये मोस्ट रेलिवेंट रेंज है हमारे लिए. यहां तक हम कंज्यूम करेंगे, वी विल ट्राई टू कंज्यूम टिल दिस पॉइंट. बट जब टोटल यूटिलिटी मैक्सिमम हो गई, वी विल स्टॉप हियर, स्टॉप कंजम्पशन. इस पॉइंट पे वी नो दैट मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी विल बिकम 0, क्योंकि टोटल यूटिलिटी इज मैक्सिमम. So whenever you maximize something, you differentiate it and equate it to 0. Matlab marginal utility will be 0. So beta, in this case, this is the range. Sorry, this one. This is the range. But अगर range की जगह वो point बोल देता बेटा, then this is the answer. This is where I will stop consumption. थोड़ा सा हमें क्वेश्चन को पढ़ना पड़ेगा, राइट? ओके, कम टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी ऑलवेज डिक्रीजेस. यस, वी ऑलवेज नो द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ डिमिनिशिंग मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी. एंड मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी मींस, बेटा क्या होती है मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी? अलग अलग डेफिनेशन है, यू शुड नो ऑल ऑफ देम. तो लिख लो, मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी को हम total utility of n goods, n units minus total utility of n minus 1 units भी बोल सकते हैं, right? Marginal utility को हम differentiation of total utility भी बोल सकते हैं. Marginal utility के submission को भी हम total utility बोल सकते हैं, right? So you should know all the formulas of finding marginal utility. ठीक है, तो बेटा इस टॉपिक से रिलेटेड, कंज्यूमर थ्योरी से रिलेटेड we have taken 10 questions. Now let me move forward and let me take few questions from demand, supply and elasticity. Okay beta, come to the first question. Demand is consumers. So we know that whenever we talk about demand, it is demand में दो कंपोनेंट आते हैं बेटा. फर्स्ट, विलिंगनेस टू पे. सेकंड, एबिलिटी टू पे. बेटा फॉर एग्जाम्पल, you may not have no willingness to pay for a movie, तो डिमांड नहीं करोगे. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल you may have no ability to pay for a let's say car, तो डिमांड नहीं कर पाओगे. So demand will be possible only when you have both willingness and ability to pay for something. So answer to this question will be C, willingness and ability to pay. Better come to the next question. An individual consumer's demand is not determined by price, तो determine करेगा. Price of substitutes भी उसे determine करेंगे. इनकम भी डिटरमाइन करेगी, बट पॉपुलेशन से इंडिविजुअल डिमांड का कोई रिलेशन नहीं है. सो पॉपुलेशन विल नॉट डिटरमाइन इट. सो आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन इज डी. पॉपुलेशन विल नॉट डिटरमाइन इट. कम टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. इनकम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इफेक्ट्स. तो बेटा इनकम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन से, इनकम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन क्या होती है कि कितनी इनकम रिच के पास है, कितनी पुअर के पास है. इससे किस पे फर्क पड़ेगा? क्या प्राइस पे फर्क पड़ सकता है? नहीं. इट कैन ओनली अफेक्ट द मार्केट डिमांड ऑफ द कमोडिटी. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मेजॉरिटी ऑफ इनकम पुअर के पास है तो नेसेसिटीज की डिमांड ज्यादा होगी. अगर मेजॉरिटी ऑफ पीपल मिडिल क्लास में है तो मे बी जो ड्यूरेबल गुड्स है उनकी डिमांड ज्यादा होगी. और अगर मेजॉरिटी ऑफ लोग अपर है, रिच हैं, देन मे बी लग्जरी आइटम्स की डिमांड ज्यादा होगी उस इकोनॉमी में. सो व्हाट कमोडिटी विल बी डिमांडेड इन द मार्केट विल डिपेंड ऑन इनकम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. सो द मार्केट डिमांड फॉर कमोडिटीज. कम टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. वेरी सिंपल. A demand schedule is shown as. So what is a demand schedule? Beta, it is a function of price alone. जब हम क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड एंड प्राइस के बीच में रिलेशन निकालते हैं, व्हेन वी फाइंड द रिलेशन बिटवीन क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड एंड प्राइस, दैट इज कॉल्ड अ डिमांड शेड्यूल. ओके. अ टिपिकल डिमांड कर्व कैन नॉट बी, सो वी नो इट कैन नॉट बी अपवर्ड स्लोपिंग unless we talk about given goods or we talk about any other exception to demand. Demand curve is usually downward sloping. So answer is B. It cannot be rising upward to the right. Okay, better come to the next question. Normally when price per unit of time falls, what will happen? So beta, we know if price is falling, quantity demanded will increase. So answer to this question is A. Right? A demand curve is not related to, but a demand is related to price of commodity and time period. But for price of substitutes, it's not the demand curve. It is the shift in the curve. So the answer to this question will be price of substitutes. C. Ceteris paribus clause in the law of demand means. Ceteris paribus क्या होता है बेटा? All things remaining constant other than price. मतलब price of substitute should remain the same, taste should remain the same, income should remain the same. So this is correct, this is correct, this is correct. So which means answer will be all of the above. D. Okay, beta, come to the next question. Change in quantity demanded is. So beta, change in quantity demanded aa gaya na, quantity. So it is due to price. So answer will be simply A. अगर demand होता, suppose it would have been change in demand, then it would have been through factors other than price. ठीक है जी. Change in demand, अब quantity हटा दी है, so it will be due to factors other than price. So answer will be B. Beta, even if we are giving exam for masters in economics, sometimes ये basic definition में बच्चे गलती कर देते हैं. You make a mistake in these basic definitions which you should not be making. तो एक बारी इनको practice करना ठीक रहता है, right? Okay, beta, let us now go to the next topic. Now I will take last few questions. I will take from cost and production. But as I told you, the book is very big. सारे questions तो हम नहीं cover कर पाएंगे, but I am trying to cover some topics out of it. Production is a function of. So beta, actually, अगर ये होता production function, the correct answer is that production is a functional relationship between input and output. Production function. तो production function ये बताता है कि कितने input पे कितना output produce करेंगे. You give some inputs, how much output you will produce, that is production function. Whether I will produce or not, that will determine on my profits, right? So if my profits are negative, I will not produce. So production will depend on profit, but production function is a functional relationship between input and output. Thoda sa tricky. So answer will be profits. Profit mein I am covering cost also, input also, everything is covered. Na? Profit ke andar revenue bhi cover ho gaya, cost bhi, everything is covered. Okay. Diminishing returns occur when, so beta, what is diminishing returns? When you increase, suppose labor ka, when you increase labor and output increases at diminishing rate, that is diminishing return, right? So answer is B, uses more and more of one input holding other inputs constant, that will lead to diminishing returns. Jaise, when you fix the land and keep increasing the labor, it will lead to diminishing returns. Okay, beta, come to the next question. The law of variable proportion comes into being when? So, variable proportion is always a short run concept. And in short run, you have both fixed and variable factors. So answer to this question is B. There is a fixed and a variable factor. Okay, beta, come to the next question. The law of diminishing return according to modern view applies to which sector? Agriculture, industry, services, या all sectors? But इससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है कि कौन सा सेक्टर है? ये तो यही बोल रहे हैं ना कि शॉर्ट रन में आपका जो इनपुट इंक्रीज से रिटर्न आएगा, that will be diminishing. So it does not matter which sector you're talking about. So answer to this question will be B. All fields of production, does not matter. Okay, beta, come to the next question. Production function relates. अब function की बात कर रहा है. Question को समझो. First question पूछ रहा था production is a function of. वहां input नहीं करना था, वहां profit करना था. The answer was profit. So that is production is a function of. अब पूछ रहे what is production function? So beta, production function is a relationship between input and output. That what will be my output when I employ inputs. So answer to this question will be D. Input and output. Right. Okay, beta, come to the next question. Input or factor of production are defined as. So क्या होते हैं inputs? Read out the definition. Productive resources like labor and capital, which are used to manufacture goods and services. So the definition A is absolutely correct. So answer will be A, beta. Productive resources which help you go ahead and produce the output. Okay, beta, come to the next question. For the given production function, technical efficiency is defined as. थोड़ा सा समझना है हमें टेक्निकल एफिशिएंसी क्या होती है. टेक्निकल एफिशिएंसी तब आती है when we go ahead and we have a diagram like this. Look here. Let me just zoom this for you a bit. बेटा ये हमारा प्रोडक्शन फंक्शन है, आउटपुट. ये लेबर है, ये क्वांटिटी है. If you are on the production function, जैसे point C and D, then you are technically efficient. But if you are below your production function, जैसे ये A and B, you are below your production function, then you are inefficient. So if you are on your production function, only then you are technically efficient. तो अब यहां से समझो, on production function मतलब ये equation satisfy होनी चाहिए. The equation should be satisfied. And below production function मतलब output less than what your production function suggests. Production function बोलता है इतना output बन सकता है, but मैं उससे कम output बना रही हूँ. I'm producing less output than what is possible. So this is inefficient. ठीक है, ये inefficient हो गया. So you are technically efficient if you are on the production function. So your output should be equal to the equation of the production function. ठीक है बेटा, come to the next question. For the given production function, technically inefficiency. अब उल्टा पूछ रहे हैं, inefficient कब होगा? You will be inefficient when you are below the production function. So answer will be B. ठीक है. Come to the next question. Economies of large scale production. Whenever you will have economies of production, बेटा वो ज्यादा specialization लेकर आता है. So always remember that large scale production is always related to specialization. So answer to this question will be A, greater specialization. Come to the next question, beta. A producer attains the least cost combination. सबको पता है. Equilibrium in production is attained when MRTS is equal to the ratio of the input prices. Books में लिखा होता है MRTS LKWR ऐसे, right? So whenever the MRTS is equal to the ratio of the input prices, that is when we have, and इसको actually I can write it as MPL by MPK. That is when we have the equilibrium attained, right? So answer to this question will be B, right? So beta, this is about the next topic, which is cost and production. So in this lecture today, let me just scroll up. In this lecture today, I have tried to cover this with you. 10 questions, this with you, 10 questions, this with you, 10 questions, this with you, 10 questions, and this with you. For each topic, I have tried to cover 10 questions. My aim was to cover 50 questions with you, and I have covered those 50 questions. I hope this is going to help you in the final exam. Of course, as I told you, these are multiple 1,000+ questions. I cannot cover all of them, but this was just to help you with your final preparation. Best